everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I paint a real simple daisy design on this green glass bottle. I've washed it with soap and water and I've gone over it with rubbing alcohol just to make sure all the extra oil and grime is off of the bottle. I am going to be using 4 Amagic paintbrushes today. It's a number 6, a 10, and a 12. They're flat brushes. And then a number 2 round brush. And I will be using 2 Deerfoot stipplers, a number 8 and a number 2. Paint I'm using is all FolkArt paint, using Forest Moss, Thicket, Lavender, Titanium White, School Bus Yellow, Purple Lilac, Red Violet, Burnt Sienna, and Metallic Silver. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. And what I'm going to do is start by doing my purple flowers. I'm going to hit it with a heat gun to dry it before I start putting in my daisies, and then we'll progress to the leaves. Alright, so I'm just doing the front of the bottle. I want to go with, this is just kind of like a wispy, like wisteria kind of flower. That's what it's supposed to simulate. So I'm starting with the red violet first. And then I'm just going to come down, just kind of sporadic. I don't want it to be, you know, completely round or straight. And what I did, I always do my designs on paper first. So this may vary somewhat from my paper design, because then I try to fit it in as much as I can on my glass. Alright, so then I'm going to go just tap it in with some more. And this is the purple lilac. So I'm just kind of layering it and spreading it out a little bit. Again, I don't want it to be, you know, straight lines. I want it to be kind of loose, as you want to say. Alright, and just continue on. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them down below. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell before you leave my channel. I would appreciate it. Now I'm coming in here, and I gotta remember all these names here with the lavender. This is lavender. So it's kind of a close, you know, close color to what I've already been using. It's just giving another level, and I gotta keep concentrating on not touching my bottle on the paper. There we go. Then what I will do is just go back in, layer it some more with the darker color. Now when you do something like this, you could actually go back in and paint some actual flower petals into this mix. I started to do that, and I actually just like it with just this part and not with any added flower petals, so I decided just to keep it this way. That is just another option for you. Alright, so what I'm also going to do then is tip it into some white, add some white to this. And again, it's not only is it creating better coverage, it's giving it a little bit of depth when you actually continue to add colors to it. And just keep in mind, the more opaque your design is, the better coverage you've got, the more durable the paint will be. Alright, so here we go. Almost finished with this part. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my number 12 flat brush, and I'm hoping I'm going to stand it up so I can show you. So basically I'm just going to stick my brush into the titanium white, and I'm going to add in a little bit of silver just to give it some color and not just straight white. What I'm going to do next is I am going to, oops, sorry. Oh, sorry. Come over here, and I'm going to start designing my daisies by pulling on the chisel edge of my brush. Like that, just dipping my brush into my paint as much as I can every so often here, just to keep making sure that I have some good coverage. And I can go over it if you feel like your paint is too thin. You know, the coverage makes it even nicer if you go back over it. Alright, so let's go into this one here. Now, I could very easily be pulling up some purple, which is fine. When you do wet on wet, which is basically what I'm doing here, you do risk pulling up color from whatever you've painted underneath. But not be afraid of that, because that can actually give you some interesting streaks in your petals, which I think are nice, personally. They don't all have to have that in it, though. Even if you want to tip a little bit into the purple, just to give it some purple streaks, that's fun too. But once you've allowed this to dry, if you feel like you need to go back over it again, yeah, do so, because you'll be happy with it if you do make sure the coverage is good. Like, that's a little thick. I'd be afraid that that would bubble, so I want to make sure if it's too thick, you risk your paint to bubble when you're baking it. So just be a little careful with that. I'm going to go ahead and do another open bloom here. Again, it's pulling in some of the purple. Which I think is very pretty. It's one thing I think I've come to conclusion. I like the flat brushes so much because I feel like I can create a lot of different designs with a flat brush. Because I kept thinking to myself, why do I keep gravitating towards a flat brush? Seems like most of my designs, if not all of them, are created with a flat brush. And I think that's what I've come to the conclusion, is I can have so much more control over my designs based on, you know, being able to do that. And this one's just going to be kind of the back part of a flower, up towards the top. And just depending on the pressure that you give your brush, that will determine the shape of your petals. And also the size of the brush can dictate that as well. Alright, let me do one more. I'm trying to do, let's see here. Let's do it over here. I just want to have like a partial one that is kind of peeking out from this. And it will have a center tapped into it. While you're painting, if your brush gets too full of paint, just wipe it off. I would try to avoid washing it with water, just so that you don't weaken the paint when you're painting on glass. Now if you're painting on paper or something like that with this paint, and I know you're probably thinking, what? You can actually do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this again with the heat gun. Alright, I do apologize too, my furnace is running in the background. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to start with this first, just to get, I'm just dipping my round brush into both the green colors. And then on this one, like I mentioned before, this is just going to be the back of this flower. And I'm just kind of lightly touching it and pulling it down. Not to worry, because I'm going to have a lot of leaves going on in here, so if you're familiar with my channel, you know I like my leaves. And I'm not doing this in a manner to have a stem at the very bottom. You know, like a lot of times I'll do that, but I'm not on this one. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I can tap in. I'm using a little bit smaller brush than I did on my samples because of my surface, but I'm going to go ahead and tap in my centers. I'm using the Scopas Yellow and the Burnt Sienna, and then I always tap this on my palette just to get the paint kind of blended in a little bit, and so it's not so full of paint. Alright, so this one I'm going to make it look like it's just a part of a flower peeking out from underneath this lilac or whatever we want to reference it as. Okay, it says hello. Then I'm going to go into my center here, my open flowers. And sometimes when you're tipping out, you might not be loading it with enough paint. That's okay. Just keep working it. It's better to build than it is to get too much and have to work that out. I'm gonna hit that. There we go. Then I'm going to do the next one. And you can have your centers to where like your flowers heading in a different direction. They don't all have to be, just think of a bouquet. If you're creating a bouquet, they're not going to all be separated nice and neat. They're going to be bunched together and arranged nicely, but they're not going to be separated. Flowers are going to be overlapping each other. Again, just very simple. Just keep in mind, that is the intent of my channel, is to provide simple, easy flowers on glass for the most part, so that anybody who can hold a paintbrush can paint. Now, when I'm telling you the different types of brushes I use, I do have affiliate links down below, so you're welcome to purchase. Just look at my video, click where you can see more at the bottom, and then I'll give you the links there, and you can actually purchase via the links if you want. It's up to you, or if you want to just use it to get an idea of what I use, that's fine too. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is take my next brush, which is the number 10 flat brush. I will be going into the greens. Now, I have a tendency just to like to put both of my sides, if I don't just load it totally with one color and then add paint to it, or do the side loading, I can also even add some yellow into this. If I want, I can even put some brown in here to make it more olivey. You know, just kind of play with it. They don't all have to look the same. Anytime you're doing your leaves and such, they can be different. Alright, So I'm going to go like this. So it's just kind of a wiggle, and I just want it to be kind of a rigid edge leaf. And then I'm going to do my little stem through it like that. And then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. On these, I am not turning them different directions as far as the colors go, unless I accidentally do it. But I'm not trying to, so I'm just trying to get just a very uneven edge. Like that. And I'll just keep doing those around the bottle. Just wherever I see fit. Now this type of bottle, this is a, I knew the name. Oh, crazy. Jameson. I know it started with a J. Alright, so I'm going to go over this a little bit. Again, has a little bit of writing down below, which is fine. I think on this one, I'm going to throw a little bit of yellow into it. And I can go a little bit over my flower itself. Sometimes you just kind of have to tap it and then run it down. Looks like I got a little bit more of my white from my flower than what I anticipated, so I need to kind of work that in. And that's okay. Draw some interest to it, right? And if you think it's not, like on this one, it's kind of short, a couple things you can do, but I'm just going to kind of tap it and come down to the tip. Now I got too much yellow in there. Okay. All right. And then we're going to just keep doing it. Keeping these mainly on the outer part of the design. Oops, I keep worrying about touching it on the paper. I'm just doing some light wiggling. Just want to make sure too when you do that that you're actually getting good coverage, because that can cause your, when you're doing wiggling, to actually be removing the paint, because you want to make sure you still have the glass covered. When you're going down on a part that's curved a little bit, it's more of a challenge. You can also put these in with the round brushes or a liner brush if you have a liner brush. Alright, let's keep moving here. And I'm really not trying to make them any specific shape. Just have more of the rough edge. Alright, so I went ahead and just added some more leaves to finish it out. And the next thing that I'm going to do is take my number 6 flat brush, and on this one I'm going to just really try to create something different shade of leaf. And this is just where I get creative, and we'll keep touching, just adding all my colors. I can add yellow into it if I want. But I'm going to do just my quick little, oh, get it over here where you can see it, my little leaves where I just do, pull up my little filler leaves. Now I'll just keep doing this. And I'll tip in some little stems in them. That one didn't show as much. Like that. And just keep going on. Just these are filler leaves. I like to add these to my designs because it just kind of gives it a little more, yeah, it just fills it in a little bit more. And they're not, you know, I try to do like different colors, but they're not real, they don't have to be like a certain shade, certain way. And just kind of go over my design with them. And this just kind of helps too to tie in some of the other leaves that I've painted. And I like to too just kind of do some little wiggly little streamers, I guess. I don't even know what to call them. You can do this too with a brush. You know, like a liner brush or something to that effect if you want to add some little wispy kind of I just try to lightly pull them in like that. Just kind of look around your bottle and say, hey, do I need any kind of filler? Do I need it to make it look more natural? That's basically what I'm looking for. And I like them to be going different directions too. And it doesn't have to, it can even just be a single leaf, although a lot of times I add, it's not always single, but you get what I'm saying, I guess, hopefully. I'm just going to do that. Just have them come down, just trying to make it look more natural if possible. And again, there's no wrong or right way to load your brush when you're doing this, because I just keep dipping it into paint. Pure and simple. Alright, so I'm going to stop with that. Hope you like this. Very pretty. And then I do put lights in mine if you want to have like a little special ambiance light, or use it as a night light or a light to put in your bathroom. When you have guests over, turn it on, makes it easy for them to find the light switches and such. They're very, very pretty. Nice home decor piece. Great way to get the bottles out of waste and turn them into something useful. Alright, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much. Please make sure you give me a big thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And before you leave, if you would, hit the share button below and share this on your social network with all your family and friends. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for taking the time to stop by and view my videos. Stick around and view some more. I have tons of them on my channel. And until the next time, you please stay safe and healthy and have a good one.